You've done well. Now come home.
Ну, нифига ж себе. А как же? Она же отдавала силу.
We're back! The Pyro Archon saved us. But she's not here. Yeah, didn't she say she used it all up? She's still in the Speaker's Chamber. What we saw in the Night Kingdom was... So you're saying her consciousness did all that? Every great display of power. You must feel terrible, Kachina. Just hold on. We'll get you to a doctor soon. Let's get back to the stadium. The Pyro Archon said she'd have a doctor waiting for us.
I recommend getting a full checkup, just to make sure no damage gets left behind.
Paimon feels okay. What about you, Traveler? Right. You always seem to do pretty well against the Abyss. Let's get going. We need to share what we learned in the Night Kingdom as well. Right. The Wyatt mentioned something about the Pyro Archon's plan. I'll let her explain everything. We're all a part of the plan now. Every move we make from here on out will decide Natlan's ultimate fate.
Так, пожалуй, я воспользуюсь телепортом. Как-то не хочется пешком. Тут некогда было скучать. Честно, тут такие кадры были, такие кадры. Я потом вот сама буду сидеть и пересматривать это. Не зря ж все это будет в записи.
Huh. There's a lot less stuff here than before.
It's good to see you all here in one piece. I know you must have a lot of questions, but let Koichi check you over first. It's best not to let any lingering effects of the Abyss go on.
Thank goodness you made it back. I came here as soon as the pyro... Take a seat, everybody. I'll examine... All right, that should do it for now. But just to be safe, I'll perform... I have to say, though, I've never seen anyone react to the Abyss like...
She's always been special like that. She can even purify its power.
Given the current situation, that ability will likely play a great role in the events to come.
Of course. I still have patience.
Да,
so
к этому времени
for now.
зайду. Скоро уже сейчас буду тут закругляться. Стиралку надо выгрузить там еще.
Thank you, Koichi.
All right, all right. We might not see eye to eye, but we both had good intentions.
Хорошо.
Just give it time. I'm sure we'll figure things out between us one day.
Yeah.
All right. There's so much to discuss, I don't even know where to begin. You've seen it for yourselves now. I'll get straight to the point. Natlan is on the verge of destruction. It's very possible our nation has less than a year before total
Так,
devastation.
понятно. В течение целого года мы будем спасать Натлан от гибели.
No.
That's right. But I've only ever disclosed that fact to the handful of people working with me to save this nation. Our looming destruction is not a recent development. but the inevitable conclusion of the disaster the Abyss initiated 500 years ago.
Mualani told us a little bit about that.
500 years ago, all the nations of Tevat were invaded by, unlike the other nations, Natlan never had stable and deep-rooted ley lines. So they suffered the
Так,
worst
кстати,
of
да, я
confusion.
артерии Земли не видела на Тване. Может, они еще появятся?
The battle against the Abyss was exceedingly long and brutal. In the end, victory came at the cost of even then. It took centuries of solving the disasters caused by the Abyss to finally achieve the peace we know today. And still, this is but a superficial victory. The forces of the Abyss have merely been driven back
Ну,
from
тогда
the
уж не
ground.
вернусь, а просто
Their threat to
спряталась.
Natlan remains as real. The problems plaguing the Night Kingdom are all the more complicated because that realm is essentially functioning as Natlan's immediately after the war. Our calculations estimated that we would have a maximum of 5, but at that time, we were a nation of the destitute. Our civilization was dying, our faith crumbling. If we didn't bring the nation back together, it would be foolish to even dream. So, the Archon had a long and involved discussion with the heroes of...
So that's what happened. After finding Kachina, I encountered a strange figure who gave me a series of new memories. Since the plan was mentioned in those memories, I guess I've been chosen to play an important role, but there's still something I don't understand. Those memories showed me the Pyro Archon from...
Huh? But that doesn't make any sense.
That's right. The hardest thing for humans to overcome. A god can extend a human's life by using but, as we all know, Natlan doesn't have gods like that. A human life is like a flame destined to be extinguished. 500 years ago, I played only by dying before my time could I have the chance to wake up again.
So, in other words, this is your second life?
Yes. We only managed to defeat the Abyss all those years ago because the tribes came together
Офигеть,
as one.
обычный человек, который живет уже вторую жизнь.
If the Natlan of the future was to have a fighting chance, the Pyro Archons that came after the war had to rebuild the decimated tribes. The goal was to reunite the people and restore the strength of each tribe's Wayab. Once a tribe was back to its full strength, the tribe's Wayab would select a hero, indicating the tribe was once again ready for war. The Chosen would then stand by my side in defense of our nation, just like great heroes of old 500 years ago.
So that means I'm one of the Chosen?
That's right. You bear the ancient name Umoja, the same one held by the hero from your tribe 500 years ago. It means unity. After your adventure in the Night Kingdom, I trust you've come to fully understand the meaning of that name.
So, in other words, you always knew who the Wayab were going to pick from each tribe?
Yes. According to the plan, each tribe was supposed to have been fully restored by the time I awoke. The 6 heroes successfully inherited the ancient names from 500 years ago, but the intel regarding the plan wasn't passed on to them. Once again, it comes down to the deterioration of the Night Kingdom. Communicate.
Just like how the Ode of Resurrection failed to bring Kachina back.
Exactly. It's just another tactic the Abyss is using against us. The Abyss may not possess intelligence, but if we want to unblock that information from being passed on, my presence alone isn't enough. The ancient name bearer So, I've tried my best to help them. Currently, Shalonin of the Children of Echoes, Kinich of the Scions of the Canopy, and Iansan of the Collective of Plenty have all been acknowledged by their... During your adventure, you too earned the acknowledgement of your Wayab, Mualani. In the process, you gained the memories stored within your name.
But we have less than a year!
Yes, but we have no choice. We cannot start the plan until all the heroes have been gathered. That's also why I haven't been able to take action despite the urgency of the situation.
But if you knew this whole time, Why didn't you just tell me about my role in all this?
Perhaps, but the opposite could also be true. Knowing your destiny too early could mean failing to realize your full potential. Just like your determination to save Kachina, I hope your commitment to this endeavor comes from your own strength of will, rather.
So I suppose you're not going to tell us who the final two heroes are then.
That's right. Their time is yet to come. Putting pressure on them beforehand will only hinder their development. I can only trust in the judgment of the Wyab. I have never believed I could solve this crisis alone. In fact, it was precisely because I chose to trust and rely on others that we managed to get this far. Natlan's salvation lies not in its Archon or any singular individual, but in us all. You're quite perceptive, aren't you? I thought I might get away with avoiding the topic.
Huh? Oh, right! All of the stuff you stored here before. Where did it...
Even though I sacrificed my power, I still needed a contingency plan to ensure you would make it back from the Night Kingdom. After all, I was the one who allowed you to take
Так,
that
у меня
risk,
что, трансляция
and your
прервалась?
mommy has an important role to play in my plan. In addition to their sentimental value, the items I stored here held a much more important purpose. Fuel.
Странно, просто я смотрю, у меня на Твиче счетчик времени пошел по новой. Пишет 00:12:29. Как будто бы прервалось.
Fuel? So back then, that's why you...
Yes.
Хотя, если посмотреть в
The
БС,
stories
то 2
embodied
часа
by those
58
items
минут
are
с
certainly
копейками уже.
important. But there's an even more significant trait they all share. Every item belonged to a hero of Natlan.
Фалькон, а почему не мог?
Over time, they became imbued with a certain amount of contending fire from being carried in battle. On their own, each item's power is limited. But together, their combined effect can prove quite useful in a dire situation. By burning those items, I was able to activate the contending fire stored within them to open the boundary between the two. It was a rather crude approach, so all their power was depleted in an instant, as you can see.
But weren't they all precious treasures?
That's exactly why I dragged you all here. No... I'm so...
You have nothing to be sorry for. You all deserve my thanks, actually. If you hadn't saved the totem pole, that area of the Night Kingdom would have been forever lost to the abyss.
Да, статусное оружие — это вещь.
And then, it would only be a matter of time before the Children of Echoes was met with disaster. Besides, when those heroes entrusted their belongings to me, or the Pyro Archon of their time, it was out of a desire to contribute to Natlan's survival. If they knew those items helped save the present-day heroes of Natlan, they would not mourn their loss.
Even when you put it that way...
There's no need. Remember what I told you about time? The people and the events of the past are never truly lost to us. We simply carry them with us in a different form. If you still have regrets, let them fuel your resolve in the battles to come. Your deeds will become new legends and nurture new forms of power just like the items once stored here.
Well, we'd still like to return the favor.
Well, if that's the case, just treat me to a drink sometime.
Ой, тут Венти не хватает.
Now that Kachina has returned, we can finally hold the victory feast and celebrate your team's triumph in the night war. And we could all use the rest, that's for sure. Plus, you'll be able to silence everyone who...
Still, now that I know the danger we're facing...
Try not to let it get to you. It's important to stay calm. Worrying about it will only affect your judgment. All right. You should head out. I'll join you in a bit.
When I was young, I used to sit by the hot springs and listen to the... They attract people from all walks of life. The people of the springs have never claimed the hot springs as their own private property. It's been really nice, seeing the children of my tribe get older. I've witnessed their energy, their determination, their absolute passion for life. Even when they cause trouble, I'm certain Mualani will become a great warrior when she grows up. One day, when I'm no longer in fighting form, I'll come here and tell stories to all the... So, you better get busy, Pyro Archon, or I'll end up running out of stories.
Our nation is engulfed in darkness. Our tribes stand divided, and yet the Abyss is a cunning enemy. One that my rage will never know absolution, and my power will no longer aid you in victory. But you came to me because you knew you could... I understand your choice. The heroes of today will
И
forge the
как?
path
Получилось
ahead
развалить?
with blood and fire. Just remember to earn us the victory we are owed. Otherwise, rest assured, I'll find a way to collect the debt. For Natlan.
Раз.
So, you're gonna head 500 years in the future to serve as the Pyro Archon again? But what about the you from right now? You're just gonna die?
You can't ask her those questions and expect her to answer, my dear. The decision is her. We will do everything we can to rebuild the tribe, even across time. We will all...
Yeah, Mom's right. Oh, seriously though, Dad should...
I imagine he didn't know what to say. Just remember, no matter what happens in the future, we will always love you.
Арбитраж. Беги на
I'll come
арбитраж.
find you one day. I know I can't live that long, but I'll think of something. There has to be a way for us to meet again one day. If there's an answer out there somewhere, I'm gonna find it. So, don't forget about me.
Это хорошая вещь.
If that's your decision, then you have my full support, Archon.
May our children live to see such a lovely son.
For Natlan!
No one fights alone. The rules are my legacy. They shall grant us the strength to overcome the next tragedy.
War forged the 6 tribes, taught us how to fight.
Who will be the one to bring this to an end?
Скорее всего, да.
We are the inheritors of memory, those who grew alongside Sun, and those who forged our own destiny. That is Natlan's fire, the lifeblood of our nation.
Так, ну, надеюсь, тут уже осталось чуть-чуть. По идее, да, раз направили на праздник. Так. Можно телепортом? Похоже, нет. Ладно, пешком так пешком. Блин, я чутка заблудилась. Где там и проход дальше?
Hey, Koichi! You here for the victory feast too?
Oh, no. I knew Chaska would be here, so I just came to deliver some medicine. It's not that I don't want to celebrate Kachina and the others. I'm so glad.
Ah, well, you two had a fight, so...
She didn't cause any trouble during your trip, right?
Yeah, she was super helpful. She gave us a lot of useful information about the Abyss.
That's good. That's all.
Is there a reason you asked? You were pretty outspoken when we first met, but...
Maybe it seemed unreasonable, picking that fight with her before you left, but her impulse to fight is extremely strong. Her mental strength helped.
So, what you're saying is...
Okay, so maybe it sounds a little... Anyway, I'm just glad you were able to make it...
What? Do you really have to go
No way. Chaska never opens up about her own pain, especially to her family. I appreciate the understanding, and don't worry. Oh, and if you ever need a doctor, you know who to find.
Huh. Who would have thought there was a deeper reason behind their arguing?
Очень, конечно, странный способ, но ладно.
In the end, it's all the Abyss's fault.
Let's give a huge round of applause to our brave young warrior, Kachina!
Woohoo! Well done, Kachina.
I always knew you could do it. With so much potential.
You're one to talk. Don't think I didn't know you were the first person to abandon your team. I'll be dealing.
I had no choice. My friend invited me. I couldn't just say no.
Oh, really? So you weren't just trying to get ahead in the first...
I wasn't, I swear. I just happened to find that bearer injured in the wild. When he insisted on repaying the favor, what was I supposed to do? I'm just one...
But the fact of the matter is that after your departure, everyone...
I'm really sorry, Kachina. It was wrong.
It's amazing that you still made it all the way through to...
So, what about you guys?
Our team captain drank too much the night before the competition and turned up late to the stadium.
Serves you all right. No sympathy
Да
for
уж,
me.
весело им, когда капитан команды опоздал и всех убрали с соревнований.
Alright. There's no need to... Dear friends, I'd like to say a few words.
Значит, трансмиссий, в принципе, не так много же.
Firstly, I'm grateful to my friends and this traveler and her companion Paimon are some of the strongest people I've ever met. They've agreed to let me learn from them. And let's not forget my good friends, Moalani, Chaska, Kanich, and Ayan-san. They all helped the traveler and Paimon figure out a way to bring me back from the Night Kingdom.
Что на голове у того челика? Что за елочки торчат?
They too deserve to be called our heroes. So, please...
Well said!
I'll drink to that.
How does it feel being a hero, Kachina?
To be honest, it's bit overwhelming. Well, you better get used to it. Next up, undefeated champion! Hey, please don't make fun of me.
Ah, you're
О,
here.
Архон тоже на
Have
празднике.
some fruit juice. I got it specially for you two.
Блин, это газированный сок?
You look like you've still got questions. Ask away. Because they had their own lives to live. The thought of telling them, abandon your families and everyone you love, and come with me to the end of time. You could just as easily point out that everything in this world would come to an end eventually. Imagine if I said, let's leave right now, and go save the sun because it'll flame out in a few million years. It would say I couldn't make them shoulder that burden with me. Besides, every generation will have its heroes, this one included. Or, of course, without me. But since I was the one who came up with the plan...
I'm suddenly remembering that portrait in your room.
Yes, it was. So when you asked me who my sister grew up to be, the truth, from what I've been able to piece together, I can conclude with the she played an instrumental role in rebuilding the scions of the Canopy tribe. Still, it was an impressive achievement, and I'm very proud of her. You feel loss keenly. It seems to stir up feelings of regret in you. This is a war, and there can be no war without loss. I am already far more fortunate than the people of Natlan look to me as their Archon, and the weight of their expectations is mine to bear.
Yeah, doesn't that mean the way everything ends is a...
I suppose, but so what? Don't forget, time takes many forms. The past, present, and even if the future ends in destruction, there's still no reason to give up on the here and now. And it's precisely because we humans cannot know our fate. This is a pivotal moment. We are still two heroes, well, 3 to be precise. There's one further here. Your resistance to the corrupting power of the Abyss is truly remarkable. If you agree to join us, you will not only gain my full support in your journey, but I will also
В смысле, она может выковывать новое имя? Офигеть.
Ancient names can be forged?
They can. Several strict conditions must be met, but if they couldn't be forged at all, then the number of them in circulation would... Possessing an ancient name would mean that your adventures in Natlan are recorded in The Ode of Resurrection may have temporarily lost its power, but just like in the Night Kingdom, I will be there for you. That is a promise I will fulfill at all costs. This nation always honors its heroes.
Yeah, we can't just ignore the situation here.
Wonderful. Then I'll reach out to Shilonen right away. She's the one who will forge the name. We've never forged an ancient name for an Outlander before, but I trust she'll find a way.
My lord, we've received word that the Pyro Archon has lost much of her power.
О, что-то.
Although your injury complicates things, this is most certainly the opportunity.
Victory and defeat are rules, not outcomes. I have never taken advantage of an opponent. As for you, I must
No matter how dense the fog, as long as the sun remains, we cannot turn day into night. You don't have much time, and...
I'm beginning to see just how useful you may turn out to be. You heard something from here.
Да уж. Ну ладно, я на сегодня все. Всем спасибо за просмотр. А трансляции, как говорится, будет в Дискорде. QR-код на экране. Всем пока-пока.